reaching us now, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has been arrested, extradited to Nigeria, and is right now being arraigned at the Federal High Court in Abuja. Kanu is facing charges bordering on treasonable felony instituted against him at the Federal High Court.
It was an unjust war.
Long ago, in the heart of Biafra, a nation was born from the ashes of war. A war that scarred the land and its people, yet it never killed the spirit of freedom.
The war aim of Biafra is purely to prevent ourselves being slaughtered, nothing more.
It was in this land, scarred by conflict, that Nnamdi Kanu was born, a son destined to revive the dream of independence for Biafra.
And if anybody is going to judge our success and failure in this war, it will have to depend on how much we have prevented the enemy from killing us.
Raised with the echoes of his ancestors' struggles, Kanu understood that the wounds of war ran deep in the hearts of his people. The scars from the Biafran War, which ravaged the land and cost countless lives, had never healed. The dream of an independent Biafra, broken but not forgotten, lived on in the hearts of those who survived. It was these voices, these memories, that called him to action. As Nnamdi Kanu grew, so did his voice. He became a preacher of justice, a messenger for those who were unheard. He spoke not just for his generation, but for all those whose lives were shattered by the war. The pain of the past was alive within him, and his words resonated with the cries of the oppressed.
That's why they're detained. Their children have been there for a very long time. Abuja is in detention. Mokhtar Umar is in detention. And DSS, we don't want to bring them to court. The families are here. Ibrahim Yahya is there as well. I was with them. Musa Kalamo is also there. Belief is also there.
But as Kanu's message spread, so did the fear of the establishment. His calls for self-determination grew louder, shaking the very foundations of the government. They feared the revival of a Biafran spirit, one that could awaken the wounds of the past and ignite a new conflict. And so, they moved against him. Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, his body captured, but his spirit unbroken. The authorities believed that imprisoning him would extinguish the fire he had started. But they failed to understand the depths of his cause. The pain of the war, the bloodshed of the past, was not something easily forgotten. It was a flame that could never be fully extinguished. His arrest became a symbol of the struggle that began in the blood-soaked fields of the Biafran War. The demand for freedom was still alive. The fight for justice continued, not just for Nnamdi Kanu, but for all the lives lost, for all the children born into a world of scars. The fight for Biafra is not just his fight. It is the fight of all those who have ever dreamed of a free land. And though the past may haunt the present, the future is still unwritten. As long as the story of Nnamdi Kanu is told, as long as the voices of his people rise, the dream of Biafra lives on. Arrested again, 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 and yet again.
I agitate for Biafra. I agitate for Biafra, my right to agitate, my right. They turned it from treasonable felony now to terrorism.
This is Nnamdi Kanu speaking. Biafra land, listen. They thought they could silence me, but they didn't just cage me. They caged your spirit. They made you forget that our land still bleeds, that our people still suffer, that nothing has changed. 5 years in chains. But what about you? Are you not free? Or have they bound your voice with fear? The struggle was never about me, it was about you, your children, your land, your future. So I ask you, where is the fire that once burned in your heart? Where is the voice that once roared for freedom? Wake up! Rise again. Speak. Act. Remember who you are. This is Nnamdi Kanu.
This is my wicked word. This is my confusion word. Listen to Pali Brand. Pali Brand. I will tell you a story about one lady girl. Pali they go to work. Pali they work for bank. Then I enter for motor. Wherever they go. Wherever they go. Opposite Udi, but the rocky hand the side, along the Sukudu road. I see people run, I see people run. Then I ask the driver waiting they happen. The driver waiting they happen. The driver tell the Pali boy, see no day for talk, see no day for talk. If better you take your eye and see, then I call the driver. The driver waiting, the driver waiting.
Listen, this is the laws of Nigeria. The prosecution and this court doesn't know the law. That is the fact. Yes. Poor knowledge of the law is killing Nigeria. Poor knowledge of the law, they don't know the law. This is a federal gazetted law of Nigeria that says here that the chief judge of Nigeria cannot tell Binta Nyeko what to do. It's here. It's your law. Just obey it. That is why I do what I do. I agitate for Biafra. I agitate for Biafra. My right to agitate. My right. They turned it from treasonable felony now to terrorism. Stop talking when I'm talking.
Sorry, I was muted. Thank you so much, Nweke UC. Thank you, Nweke UC. Thank you for calling my attention. Yeah, some people will not call your attention. They will never type or speak. They will just allow you to go on, and some will just walk away. I appreciate NWCOB. Thank you for that very message calling my attention. Nweke UC, thank you so much. So my fellow Biafrans that are watching, wherever you're watching from, please like and share this video to all platforms. Share to family and friends. Share to everyone that is close to you so that they can join us to get this important information. We have waited for today to come, and finally, here are we. Today being the 18th of July 2024. Every one of us was waiting for the final verdict of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, for the final outcome of the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And we got ourselves where we are today. Everybody know how we arrived to where we are. We know what brought us to where we are today. What brought us here, first of all, started from the arrest of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, 2015. Remember, arrest, 2015. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been in custody of Nigeria, in the persecution of Nigeria for more than 10 years now. He has been there for more than 10 years under Nigerian custody. Some of us, when we are calculating, we miscalculate and we call it 5 years. The arrest of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the persecution of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not 5 years. It is more than 10 years. So, we know what transpired. He was arrested when he arrived in Nigeria from the UK. They dragged him and took him in after many outcry by Biafrans, protests by Biafrans, outrage by Biafrans, many actions by Biafrans. He was released and granted bail. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was enjoying that bail in his homeland in Afaruku with his parents. And the Nigerian government sent their military to go and take his life. The military of Nigeria planned and organized a python dance. That python dance led to their going to the home of our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to attack him. Not just to attack him, to take his life. In that very episode of the home of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, 28 able men lost their life. Jack, the dog of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, was killed. So many other people lost their life. We are talking about people in that compound, but outside the compound, within that time of that very python dance, thousands of Biafrans disappeared. There was mass execution of Biafrans on different places that up to today, nobody can give account of them. Some begin to be revealed after that very period. And that brought us to where we are today, because they made attempt. The mission of going to home of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu then was to take his life. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu narrowly escaped death after so many months. We saw Mazi Nnamdi Kanu appear in Israel. From his appearance in Israel, since then, he has continued to demand for the freedom of his own people and for the right of his people to be respected. The Nigerian government refused. Instead of calling his attention to dialogue or speak with him, they chose to go after him and take his life. Nigerian government went to Kenya. They planned with the Kenyan government, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped in the land of Kenya. He was kidnapped, tortured for 8 days. After the torture of 8 days, he was extraordinarily renditioned to Nigeria. These stories are very familiar with all of us, but we must have to continue to repeat it, because you don't know who is watching us. You know, sometimes when you come to our program, you see that we are repeating something over and over again. This repetition is for emphasis. That is why we repeat it. It is for emphasis. There are people who don't know why we are doing what we are doing today, or who don't know what brought us to where we are. That is why it is essential that when we come online, we repeat these stories. So after the kidnap and torture of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for 8 days, Nigerian government extraordinarily renditioned Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria. They flew Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with a private jet all the way from Kenya into Nigeria, covering his head. He was hooded. They brought him into Nigeria. They took him to court without his lawyers. It was after they took him to court and registered him in that the lawyers began to make speech of the awareness of his presence. Since then, they have kept Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS, and they refuse to take Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to where he's supposed to be, in detention, in Kuje probably, but they prefer to keep him in solitary confinement in the DSS. Many people make the move, the politicians and the traditional rulers and some other people that try to show concern went for political solution. We, the Biafran people, under the United States of Biafra today, said we are not part of the political solution. United States of Biafra, under the command of our Prime Minister, Mazi Nnamdi, we rejected the political solution. But those who believed in it went for it, and Nigeria turned them down. Many prominent people, both those who are sincere and those who are not sincere, went. But the Nigerian government said no, that they're not going to leave our Prime Minister, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They say they will not leave our Supreme Leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And the late Muhammadu Buhari said that he must pass through the process of the court. That if the court finds him innocent, they will release him. But if the court says that he's guilty, he will go in. We said That is where we stand. All we want is that let the law take its course. Already we know that the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have destroyed his case. If Nigeria were to be a lawful country, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would have been released long before now. But because Nigeria is a lawless nation, a place where the rule of law does not apply, that is why they continue to hold Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Even when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have gone through their court process and the court said, let him go. The court said, let him go. But Nigerian government continued to hold our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They refused to let go of him. The court gave the order that they should release him and pay him compensation, and went further to say that no law court in Nigeria has the right to try Mazi Nnamdi Kanu until they explain the situation surrounding his kidnap. Because you cannot stand on illegality and you'll be talking about legality. I didn't say it, their court said so. But because this man you are seeing here is a Biafran, because he's an Igbo man, nobody wants to listen to what he has to say. Because he's an Igbo man, justice does not apply to him. Because he's an Igbo man, you can commit injustice against him, it doesn't matter. Because he's an Igbo man, whatever you do to him, there is no consequence. That is what we have seen in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And they continue to hold Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now for 5 years and still counting. After Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have won his case, instead of releasing him and pay the compensation, they brought him back to start afresh the case. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have been going in and out of the court all this while, until we got to where we are today. The new judge Omotosho came on board and he said that he is going to speed up the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That was what he said. And every one of us was aware of that statement. We didn't force him. He knows it is the right thing to do. So he said he was going to speed up the case of our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And every one of us was expecting that that would be the case. But from every indication, what we are seeing today is different. They use that language of speeding up the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu probably to confuse you and I, to take away our attention from the real thing. And when we bought into that idea of speeding up the case, even though Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not supposed to be tried even at the first place, but we decided to let them test the law they wanted to test. They continued every day, go to court, come back, go to court, come back, and finally, Nigerian government presented all what they called evidence against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the court. And they closed their case. The last court that they attended, we were told that they have exhausted all the witnesses they have and they closed their case. Then the judge told our defense counsel to go ahead and present their own case. And the defense counsel was given up to today, 18th, to submit in writing the no case listen. They want to make the no case submission. So everyone accepted, and we were waiting until it got to today, which is the day that deliberation is supposed to happen. On getting to the court, we heard again that after the submission of the no case, the judge collected the information and said that the case is adjourned until 10th of October 2025 for ruling on the no case submission. The lengthy adjournment, as we can see, is something we don't understand. The only excuse they gave was that the judiciary were going for vacation. That because they are going for vacation, it is necessary to have that postponement. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has to be there and wait until after their vacation. And then the case will be called off. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still going to be there until the 10th of October, when we are going to hear the verdict of this no case submission. I don't know if anybody is surprised with what we had in the court today. I don't know if anybody is confused or we say that you never expected what happened today to happen. Well, as for me, nothing in Nigeria surprises me. There is nothing in Nigeria that surprises me because I know that in Nigeria, everything is possible. And even with the adjournment, we are not even sure that on that 10th something will happen. But based on our faith, we still believe that something could happen even before that very date. But in everything, all we are saying is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu deserves justice. But remember, somehow, justice delayed is justice denied. The delay of case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not a good thing. They have delayed that case to the extent that the Biafrans will no longer accept it. The only thing that we are expecting is to let go of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because from every indication, he has no case to answer. When the judge came up, we thought that he was going to be anything different from what we saw before. But from all indication, he came with deceptive, accelerated hearing. That is what he told us. Justice Omotosho told us that he's going to give accelerated hearing, but now you can see that that accelerated hearing is getting to 1 year. The so-called accelerated hearing is about to push to 1 year. They told us that they are going to go into swift conclusion of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu case. That is what is promised. Though we just decided to follow him up. We decided to follow him up. But as we all know, we know that people who are close to that judge, this very judge that handled the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, don't forget, he is close to Nyeso Wike, the criminal in Abuja. Nyeso Wike is a right-hand man of this very criminal. And remember the stance of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on Nyeso Wike and his atrocities. And they are using this very judge to punish Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for as long as they can. That is why I'm telling you, don't be surprised on the 10th. You hear that he has resigned or he's sick or something happened that he can't continue. And they will begin to fish for another judge. But whatever be the case, we the Biafran will always keep a positive mind. But I can never trust anything that is coming from the Zoological Republic. More especially the connection of this lawyer with Nyeso Wike should always ring a bell in your ear. All this unending adjournment is well planned. Today we have seen the accelerated case now getting to 1 year. Biafrans, do not be deceived. Do not be deceived. The freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to come based on what we do as Biafrans. What we do, we contribute to the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or you don't, it is the truth. Our attitude, our behavior, our response, we act, we create a way for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to join us as soon as possible. This bunch of criminals in Nigeria are ready to keep Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for as long as they want. But we know that Chukwu Okike Abiama will not be mocked. We know that Chukwu Okike Abiama will never be mocked. So I urge every one of us, wherever you are, that we must continue to keep a positive mind, no matter what happens. No matter what the enemies are saying, no matter what the enemies are doing, always keep a positive mindset. Only that will set us free. Our enemies are not ready to slow down or stop. The enemies of Biafra, they are not ready to slow down. And we must not bow to them, no matter who they are, no matter where they are coming from. We must not bow to them. They can continue to do anything they like or they wish to delay us or to stop us. They can continue all their manipulations. But I bet you, in the name of Chukwu Okike Abiama, always keep your faith strong. These people do not mean us well. We should know that the challenges against us, the attack against us, is getting worse than ever. And it will continue to increase. The only thing you can do today as a Biafran is to be very, very careful who you listen to. Be very careful who you are paying attention to. Be very careful who you are giving your ears to. Because all that glitters are not gold. Some people you see today and you think they are for you, they are not for you. They are actually against you. And the earlier you understand that these people are not for you but against you, the better for all of us. The attack against the children of Chukwu Okike Abiama have intensified. The enemies are attacking us from all angles, from all corners. We must not allow them to succeed. It is high time we rise up from our slumber. wherever you are as a Biafran, it is high time we rise up. Rise up from your slumber. Do not allow the enemies to overtake us. Don't allow them. No matter what they do, no matter what they say, no matter where they come from, you must always know that you have a responsibility. As a Biafran, there are certain things you must not allow. There are certain things you must not bow to. The situation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today is something that has to bother you. If it is not bothering you, it has to start bothering you. Because these people are not willing to let go. Whatever be the plan they have, I don't know. Are they going to succeed? I pray they never succeed. And when we say we don't want them to succeed, we don't just say it and go to sleep. We have to go to work. That is why every one of us, if you know how to pray, start praying. Whatever action you are taking, double that action. This is the time that all hands must be on deck. And you see our civil disobedience. We must increase our civil disobedience. We have to intensify that civil disobedience. This is not the time to step back. This is not the time to slow down. This is the time to increase our speed. Every one of you understand what brought us to where we are today. That the reason we are able to attend to this height, the reason the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu cannot be swept under carpet, is because of you. Is because of me. Because of what we have been doing. In the first place, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not supposed to stand trial in Nigeria. That is a fact. Take it to the bank. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not supposed to stand trial. But because he's a Biafran, they have refused to follow their own law. And if you hear the statement of our lawyer, Jumakon, from the beginning of this case, he said, since the federal government of Nigeria have been yearning to give this case a trial, that our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafran people have decided to give them that chance to put the case to test. And today you see how they are failing in all angles, in all corners. The testimonies that were brought against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu were all fake, and none of them could hold water. All the testimonies that DSS brought against him could not hold water. Because they are meaningless. And I continue to ask myself, why is it that the people that claim to know so much, why have they decided not to mention the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in this case? And the only reason we know that we make them not to mention the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is because that stands as the end of the case. With the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the case does not stand. Because remember, the United Nations, an arm of United Nations, have already given Nigeria 6 months ultimatum to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And they sat on that 6 months and it expired. Nigerian government sat on that 6 months, it expired, and they never respond. Some of you don't remember. An arm of the United Nations gave Nigeria 6 months to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. But we know that the Zoological Republic have their agents in the United Nations that they bribe. That was why, even when they failed in that, there was no sanction. Under normal circumstances, Nigeria is supposed to be under sanction today. Under normal circumstances, Nigeria is supposed to be under sanction. There's no two ways about it. But because that criminal entity called Nigeria is an evil empire, is a place where demons gather, a place where the only agenda they have is to make sure that the truth does not survive, a place where the only war they are fighting today is war against the truth. That is Nigeria for you. Nigeria is fighting a war against the truth. That is what they do. In other countries, they say judiciary is the last hope of ordinary man. But in Nigeria, judiciary is the nemesis of ordinary man. In other places, in other jurisdictions, in other countries, judiciary is the last hope of ordinary man. But in Nigeria, judiciary is the nemesis of ordinary man. When an ordinary man's case gets to court, you will know that all hope is lost. Only in Nigeria you will see a criminal will commit a criminal act and tell you to go to court. A fraudster will defraud you and tell you to go to court. In fact, the people that are quick to tell you to go to court are the offenders, the people that commit crime. They are the people that are quick to tell you to go to court. The innocent ones will never speak. Anybody you are talking to in Nigeria and he tell you go to court, go to court. These are the criminals. That is why I say in Nigeria, judiciary is the nemesis of ordinary man. And remember, that is why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu called it, Nigerian judiciary, a temple of injustice. That was how Mazi Nnamdi Kanu described it. The temple of injustice. A very strong description. And that is exactly what it is. Because I cannot remember where Nigeria have granted justice. Just like in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you see how they are playing him around. You see how they are delaying him. See how they are dancing from right, left, and center. Somehow, justice denied. Delayed is justice denied. What compensation are you going to give Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to replace the 10 years that he has now spent in this case? What compensation are you going to give to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for the 10 years he has spent? In the custody of the Zoological Republic? What are you going to use to pay him back? I'm asking you that is watching. What do you think is the right thing to use to compensate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Those of you that are watching, go to comment section. Type for me on the comment section. What do you think is the right compensation for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for wasting 10 good years of his life for nothing's sake, for no just cause? And it's not ended. They have continued also to postpone. What do you think is the right compensation for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Wherever you are as a Biafran, begin to think about this. When you see the way they are handling the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you now realize the danger ahead of us as Biafrans. When we are talking about the issue of Biafra, and some of us take their faces away from the real enemy. You take your mind away from the real enemy, and you think your own brother is the enemy, your sister is the enemy. You are insane. You are insane. The same thing that they are doing to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they have succeeded in carrying Finland around, and Finland is doing the same thing. Today, instead of granting Mazi Simon Ekpa bail, they are likely holding him until September to pass the judgment. You can imagine an European country, a country that is a member of the EU, detaining an innocent person. Even after passing through their law court, they are taking 3 good months to pass their verdict. First of all, Mazi Simon Ekpa was arrested without evidence. It was after arrest of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Simon Ekpa, that they went and began to gather evidence. And in the process of gathering evidence, took them 5 months or more to gather evidence. And they told us that they used the best judges in their place, the best judges in Finland, to look at the case of Mazi Simon Ekpa. But after using those best judges, today, they cannot be able to pass judgment. They say it is going to take them 3 good months till September to pass judgment. The problem is not that it's going to take them till September to pass judgment. What we are saying that grant him bail, let him go back to his home, and then wait for your judgment to come. Whatever your judgment be, Mazi Simon Ekpa is not running away. Likewise, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But you have seen that the 2 cases are going on the same direction. Even the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you know that he has won the case against the Kenyan government, who worked in cahoots with Nigeria to kidnap him. Kenya is a sovereign state, has their security, and there is no way anything can enter into the territory of Kenya without knowing. A private jet cannot enter into Kenya and pick somebody without the knowledge of the Air Force of Kenya. He must get clearance. You must get clearance. You cannot just fly into Kenya without clearance. You must get clearance. But the Kenya government is trying to make us believe that they were not aware. They are trying to make us believe and that it just happened. They were not aware. And I thank the people that pushed the case and the judge, who did not behave like the judges we have in Nigeria. And the judge was able to pass the judgment accordingly and told them that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is innocent. They have to apologize to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and also pay him a compensation of the amount that was mentioned. The problem is not the money. We don't care about the money. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not after the money of compensation, but the truth. The truth. We thank Chukwu Okike Abiama that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu won that case. And the whole world saw it. A very clear case that he won. And today, here are we, still looking onto the same issue today. So wherever you are as a Biafran, this is a lesson for us. Nigeria is not for you. Nigeria is not for me. They don't respect us. They don't want us alive. They will do everything to destroy us. In fact, all their moves and their plan is to see that they trample upon us. The only thing we can do and the only solution is for us to get out of the zoo. We must get out of the Zoological Republic. Thank you, my beloved brother Matthew Ogiji. Of course, Matthew. I agree with Matthew. The only compensation to give to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is Biafra. And that is where it will end. That is why I say when you are fighting for Biafra, you are fighting for freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. When you are fighting for freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you are equally fighting for Biafra. These two things are one. You cannot separate them. Anybody that tries to separate these two is just being mischievous. The freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the coming of Biafra. And that is why they can delay it for as much as they can. There is no compensation today that will equal the freedom that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is pursuing and seeking. And anybody who cares about humanity, the only thing you should do is to grant him that which he is asking for. After all this dehumanization, after all this frustration, nothing else stands. Nothing else stands except the United States of Biafra. That is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is fighting for. And the only compensation that is equal to his suffering and what he's doing today is Biafra. Anybody that cares about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, anybody that cares about humanity should rise up and speak. Ask the Zoological Republic government to let go of our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He has not committed any crime. It is not a crime to be a Biafran. It is not a crime to be born a Biafran. We didn't create ourselves. We didn't place ourselves in that part of the world. The brain we have in us, it is not us that put it. It is Chukwu Okike Abiama that placed everything in us by himself. We are his handmaid. All we are doing today is to apply all the wisdom in the hand of Chukwu Okike Abiama. All the wisdom he has given us, we apply it. Regardless what the enemies are saying, regardless what they are doing. No amount of their propaganda or blackmail will make us to change our world. Nigerian government today have employed terrorists across the zoo to attack the Biafran people. They are using terrorists across the world. They have invited terrorists from different places and they are using them against Biafra. The attack of the herdsmen today is not ordinary. The attack of the herdsmen is not ordinary. It is being sponsored by the Zoological Republic government. You and I were there when they gave them 100 billion. They gave to Mieti Allah 100 billion. 100 billion. What for? They said to secure the land. And I ask you, is the Zoological Republic secured today? Is the zoo secured today? Is the zoo secured? instead of being secured. Today, the terrorist group have multiplied. Every day when you wake up, you go to the news, you will hear of a new terrorist group that have sprung up. Every day you hear a new terrorist group that sprang up. That has always been the breaking news in Nigeria. Once you search Nigerian news, the only thing you're going to see there is the new terrorist group that has sprung up. My fellow Biafrans, it is time for us to rise up. If you are sleeping, stop sleeping. If you think it's a joke, it is no longer a joke. This is a serious issue. If you have not been taking it serious before, please start taking it serious. This matter is a very... And for us to win it, every hand must be on deck. Every hand must be on deck. The supreme leader of IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is an innocent man. Very innocent. We must not allow the propagandas of the enemies to fly. Today, his absence is costing us a lot. The absence of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the absence of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, is costing Biafrans a whole lot. It's costing us a lot. And we need them just like yesterday. Wherever you are as a Biafran, if you know how to put your chaplet in the water and begin to pray, you better start it now. Every one of us need to be praying. Pray and pray hard. No matter how you think about it, how you see it, that spiritual aspect of us cannot be forgotten. The spiritual aspect of the Biafran people cannot be forgotten. We don't take it for a joke. That spiritual aspect of us, we don't take it for a joke. That spiritual aspect will always be there. And we must make sure that we hand everything to Chukwu Kabiam at all times. He that promises is faithful. The land that has promised us, he has given to us. It is now in our hand to nourish it. But it is sad that some of us have forgotten the assignment and we are chasing shadows. Some of them are busy preaching a message that I don't know where they get it from. Some are busy praising themselves, talking about men on the ground and men on the air and men in the sea. And they forgot the assignment that we have given to protect our land and defend our land. Many are busy talking about money. Many are busy talking about money. Yes. Many are busy talking about money instead of focusing on that which matters. Instead of facing our enemies, you go to a platform today. Even today that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in the court, you will still see some people who come to their platform. The only thing they will talk about is against their brother, against their sister. That is the only message they have. It is a very, very terrible situation. Pushing propaganda and lies against your brother, against your sister, will not lead you anywhere. Pushing propaganda against your own will not lead you anywhere. Instead, it will destroy you. Yes. It will not lead you anywhere. Instead of leading you somewhere, it will destroy you. We are fighting a just cause. Wherever you are as a Biafran, we must know that Biafra we are seeking for, that Chukwu Okike Abiama has already given it to us. We must not sell it out. We must not sell it out. We asked for Biafra, and Chukwu Okike Abiama gave us Biafra. All we need to do today is to stand firm and continue to promote that Biafra we requested for. We have asked for Biafra. Biafra has been given to us. Why don't we stop talking about irrelevant issues? Think of how to win recognition that we are talking about. Think of how you can present Biafra to the world so that it can be acceptable. Why are you still looking onto things that are irrelevant? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have fought a strong battle. Mazi Simon Ekpa fought a heavy battle. What are you doing? Today, it is your turn. It is your turn to fight. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have done his own part. They stopped him. Mazi Simon Ekpa did the stop. What about you? Do your own. But no. What you are doing today is push propaganda, blackmail, speak evil against your brother and your sister, and you think that that will make you relevant. You think by castigating somebody, using somebody to make program, pushing propaganda and blackmail, it will not take you anywhere. It will not lead you anywhere. We have come a very long way. And the area we are today, every one of us is supposed to be grateful for what Chukwu Okike Abiama has given us. We are supposed to be grateful. I'll be thinking of how to protect what Chukwu Okike Abiama has given us. Think about that. How are we going to protect this land flowing with milk and honey? How are we going to do it? How are we going to protect this land flowing with milk and honey? You want people to recognize Biafra. Is it by propaganda? You want people to recognize Biafra. It is by telling Biafra. The same people you want to recognize Biafra, you are telling them that Biafrans are terrorists. You open your mouth and you call your brother a terrorist. And you think that people can see you as a good person. I don't know how people reason. You open your mouth and call your brother a terrorist. And you think that after calling your brother a terrorist, that people will trust you. People will believe that that terrorist blood is in you. Because it is your brother we are talking about. If your brother is a terrorist, it means that you yourself have the tendency of becoming a terrorist. Nobody will trust you. That is one thing people don't understand. There are certain language you don't use. You don't use it for your brother. No matter how angry you are, no matter how troubled you are. When you call, you just like you see your brother, you go to say, my brother, when they go, you call your brother a thief, a criminal. And you think by calling your brother a thief or a criminal, that people will love you. People will never trust you because they know that you and that your brother have the same blood. And there is a tendency of you yourself becoming a criminal too. Why don't you people understand a simple thing? Think within yourself. It's just like somebody that have a mad person that has one TikTok show that I used to watch sometimes, where some people come to look for husband, women come to look for husband, men come to look for wife. That guy will ask people, he will ask some people, ask you, is there any mad person in your family? He will ask you, is there any criminal in your family? Have your father stolen before? Is there anybody that have done a heart attack in your family? Why those questions is asked is that there is tendency that if it has happened to any person in your family, it can happen to you. So anybody that is coming to marry you have to be aware and prepared that this thing can happen. So when you come on live program and you call your own brother, your own sister, you call them terrorists, there is nothing on earth that will make anybody trust you, because the person you are talking about is your brother. And it is the same blood that is flowing inside his vein that is flowing in your own vein. So even if you have not started your own terrorism today, there is every tendency that if truly your brother is a terrorist, you yourself will be a terrorist in time to come. That is true. Exactly, my brother, MC Bishop. I think you're watching the Chibuzo. You're on point. I used to watch Bishop sometimes. And when Bishop is asking those questions, it sounds funny. Those questions that Bishop is asking in that his program, it sounds funny, but that question will be telling you some history that you're supposed to know, and you will prepare. That question is not meant to scare you. It's not meant to drive you, but you have to be prepared and expect what to expect when you enter into marriage with anybody. What to expect. He will ask you whether is there anybody that have been mad in your family. Has anybody been kidnapped in your family? If your father died, how did he die? Did he die in heart attack? Or was he killed? Who killed him? Did your father owe debt? Was your father dragging land, the person that dragged land? All those questions. Why they are asking that? Anybody that wants to get into a relationship with you will understand that this person, even if he's a very good person today, there's every tendency that if something changes, he might begin to change. Something might happen. So you be prepared and guide yourself. So if it is your spouse, when such things begin to show up, you will know how to defend, how to protect him or her, how to direct. So when a Biafran on camera, you on your camera, a fellow Biafra that you know that is fighting the same thing you are fighting, you have stood on the same platform together before, you eat together, you sit on the same platform, on the same program, and you share program. You have promoted that very person before. Somebody you yourself use your mouth and promote and say, this is the leader of Biafra. Give her title and you promoted her. At a time, you promoted that person, but all of a sudden you wake up again and you say, no, you are calling that person a terrorist. And you think that the world will see you as a saint. It is impossible. It is impossible. That is why, personally, I mind the platforms I go. Even when we were in Briggy, many of us in Briggy, you can never see me in their platform. The only time you see me together with them is when we are doing a joint broadcast. The only time you can see me together with them is when we are doing a joint broadcast. You see the title, it will be written. It will be written, Briggy Joint Broadcast. Briggy Media. That is when I join them. But to go and visit somebody in his platform, the only person you can see me in his platform is Ugo. Ugo is the only platform I'm sure that I have gone to Ugo platform and speak. And I have a reason for doing that. I don't go to people's platform. I don't go. Because I have learned a lesson in a very hard way. I have been in this very message of Biafra for a long time. Some people that we are fighting with Mazi Nnamdi, fighting Mazi for no reason, they are fighting Mazi. These are people that I host program together with. Some of them. They are people we are together with. We do program together. We promoted Biafra. We supported Biafra. But all of a sudden, they changed completely and said they see something different. They wake up and say the Biafra they saw before is no longer the Biafra they are seeing. And with all those things, is it what I will see today? I'll still be careless. I can no longer be careless anymore. My fellow Biafrans, no matter what you see, don't shake. Ignore these people that don't know their left and right. Ignore these people that are calling their brother's name. They don't have a message. The only message they have is to bring the video of their brother or their sister, begin to castigate, begin to talk. They don't have any message. We have a lot of message to preach to Biafran people. We have a lot of education to do. Why don't you choose a topic and educate people? Why are you fighting yourself? We have a lot of job to do. So I urge every Biafran, even though the government of Nigeria and Finland will continue to prolong and postpone our case, even though the government of Finland and Nigeria will give our leader 33 months to hear the verdict, we know they are innocent. Even though they continue to hold them, we believe that Chukwu Okike Ebiama can make impossibility possible, because on eme ihe na-adịghị ekwu omume. I want us to hear this. Ha ga-anụ akụkọ anyị. Ha ga-anụrịrị mkpọtụ anyị.
For Hausa people, you know all these years when they were conquering you, Hausa, they said Hausa Fulani, they're Hausa Fulani. But now they feel they have been removed. Now they feel that they are at the cross of their conquest of Nigeria. They are now floating a radio station. No longer in Hausa language, it's in their native Fulani language. What does that mean? As an average Nigerian, I wonder when, maybe there's something in the cow. Do not have sex with cows and after that they sell it for some. Maybe that is when they succeeded in hypnotizing. The interviewer was asking for evidence. Let me now give you the evidence. It was us that translated this evidence and it's all over the place. It's not my own. Now let us hear from the mouth of the Fulani terrorist. That's the ABC party. Let us hear from
idan ba gwamnati ta daure ba wanda yake cikin daji ya ta'addanci ba Allah ubangiji ya tsine ma Allah dauki rayuwa ba a wurin
Listen, Hausa.
Kanci da ita sai noma sani a bata yafa bindiga yake wata sani ya ce bai da magera da zai gina bindiga yake gwamnati ke turowa har muka samu mai kuma wallahi dalilin da ya sa billahi lazi shekara na buga ina makarantar nan amma lokacin da na dawo na tsinci kaina a cikin wannan abu wallahi ina mamaki kullum ina tunanin rayuwata
if I'm lying
saboda mahaifana akalla a kasar dan banga da su
what did this man say? I will translate for you. It's on my internet. I don't know if it's on my Facebook page. That is why because of these things, that is why Facebook is blocking, banning, suspending. What did this man say? I'll take off my glasses. This man said, I swear to the Almighty Allah, that is the government, the same APC government that I was talking about earlier, that gave us arms. I am saying this for people that believe in one Nigeria. That is why I'm who created this name? Who created this name? Let me read what this man said. I swear to the Almighty Allah, that is the government, that is the APC government, so-called Buhari government, that is giving arms to us. Fulani don't know what gun is. We are only headsmen. Cows don't give birth to guns. I swear to Allah, we are on our own, and the government gave us AK-47. I am not afraid to say it. Bishop Coker, are you listening? All of you idiots that live in one Nigeria, are you listening? Morons, monkeys. All of you who are being deceived by this multicultural, multi-ethnic garbage, are you listening? The government that you are hoping to save you are the ones giving arms to those who have come to kill. And you get up tomorrow morning and say, we are one Nigeria. That was why when also one was under attack, that was why when these people they gave guns to attack him, he finally called, the Mr. Governor called Buhari many times, Buhari not spoken. Buhari called the commander of the division. They want to be scored. He called the commissioner of police, they don't want to be scored. But anytime IPB is having between conversation. But when the same people were under attack by those that they are sponsoring, they were nowhere to come. Is that the type of country? Is that the type of country we should belong to? Let's be honest about it. If this insecurity were being caused by the group of disgruntled Fulani, businessmen can understand. If this is a better caused by a group of, say, very retarded politicians of the of them, I can understand. The insecurity is being caused by the government itself. If it's a government. Our brother said it here, and you think he's lying. The people that they get, you know, they said that in front of Sheikh Abubakar, he went to the forest to meet the bandits, and the bandits told him it was the government that gave us the guns. Who doesn't know what comes out until they get it to us? That's why I asked you, if they're coming all the way from Mali and from Niger, how did they cross the border with guns? He claimed that just the residents are from Niger. So you don't have customs and immigration in the north. Or because you see yourselves as one people, so there is no border patrol, no border police. Nothing. But you have close to the border now for nearly a year and a half. So the border is closed. And you're from the south and you're shouting one nation, and you see the depth of your patience. Can you see it? When I say it, it's not out of hatred. People say, oh, I don't like it's not about education, because I'm telling the truth. A governor said, the governor of Bauchi State, we are bringing in Fulanis. We are coming to settle Fulani in Nigeria. He said it wasn't hiding. We are coming to settle Fulani in your land, in your village. Do you know why it is possible? Because you live in one Nigeria. If you are on your own, nobody can try it. It's called an act of war or invasion. But Fulani is carrying out an act of war and invasion into your territory because you are under one Nigeria. So in other words, they are using Nigeria is providing them a cover to carry out the conquest. Should I say ethnic nationalities across Israel? Is it clear to you now? Do you now understand what we're saying? Bishop Coker is afraid. He's from Sokoto, he's a minority. So he thinks that when Nigeria breaks up, Fulani will swallow them alive. But I want to tell them that we are all students of history. There is a group of other white group of individuals from France during the height of Reformation. They were being persecuted by the French authorities who were Catholic. People other than Roman Catholic fought with Anglican Church. People other than this, but that's my view. You know what happened? Britain, being the Protestant nation, offered amnesty or struck a deal with France to say, give me all your Protestants. We'll absorb them. They're called Jews. And they head into Britain. That is where the lives of some Peter de la Ville is a French. His family settled in England. He goes to become a general and led the war. In the Desert Storm, he was in that commanded British forces in the Desert Storm. Because his ancestors were French, Jews. So what I'm saying to Bishop Coker and all modern Christian minorities today is this. On my honor and on my life, I swear before God Almighty that with the coming of Biafra, every Christian northern will be allowed to settle Biafra. So you see, Bishop Coker, you have to be afraid. You have a place where you can practice your faith without talking your shoulder all the time, thinking who's coming to kill me. You will come to Biafra and live there. A very peaceful, fulfilled life. In Biafra. The same thing that the English did for the French Protestants, the whole English is something we are going to do for you. If you feel that you're threatened in the Sharia corner, and because of that, you think that having the East and the West in one Nigeria will save you, as if some kind of insurance against the inflation by the crazy, mad, Fulani gentleman. You will come to Biafra land. We will give you asylum. You will stay there. Your generations will live and thrive. We are accommodating people. We welcome visitors. Then you will see what Biafra is like in real life, not the miserable existence you have in Sokoto. You you want to stay in a country where people are threatening your life because it's good, you set your mind and let them. What I'm offering you is what happened in England. The same England thing you talk about one Nigeria. There was a time that the lives of French Protestants were under threat in France. England said, give them to us. They were all set. They are called refugees. We offer you the same asylum today to Bishop Boga and to all endangered northern Christians. You can all come to Biafra. We will accommodate you gladly. Gladly. I'm saying this live on air, so if I renege on this, you know they said the internet never lies. They can go back and pick up this very details. So he said this on the 8th of March 2021. So you can come to us. This is the reason why everywhere Janjaweeds are delinquents. They always come to your village and appoint one person as somebody. You know, one thing about you is this. You always think that first will be better. But in Nigeria tomorrow, never gets better. Instead, it gets worse. And we are offering you the way out. People were asking for confirmation that Nigeria Army and police are good with Fulani terrorists. You know, it was on this platform that I called for OPC to take over from a month ago. And thankfully, have taken over. And there are results. There are results. I think earlier yesterday, I was it today, the OPC arrested the Fulani warlord. You know, for us, we don't have enough arrest. We arrest him. I think they handed him over to police. When we arrest him, we hand him over to God. God in church. They arrested the Fulani warlord, Wakili. Handed him over to police. Police took him to hospital. The same police in Biafra land, they will shoot innocent IPOB family members. They go to hospital and abduct them at the doctor and send them to Abuja to the doctor. Do you understand that? That is what they have been doing. I don't know who is calling. I don't know who is calling me. I don't know what for. It's not an interactive session, so don't call. They came to Olo. They went to Anambra too. They shot people. They took them to Abuja. Took the doctor as well. They took them to Abuja. In the West, they apprehended the terrorists. They killed a mob of the rapists, the bandits. Handed the bandits over to the police. The police took them to hospital for treatment, especially some. What other evidence do you need that the police and the army are connecting those that they reported to come and kill you? And you wake up in the morning and you say you're in Nigeria. Are you not ashamed of yourself? Don't you have any shame? I've never seen the people who ask the African speeches. They took him, was arrested by the police. You know what they said? Those that arrested this man, he said, "On your police are shows of diligent prosecution of suspected criminals." The criminals now are the OPC men that arrested the bandits. Nigeria is astonishing. You arrested a rapist, a mass murderer, a killer, and a land grabber. You took him to the police. The police now arrested him. Took the man to hospital. Which all of you are about to be the cell. The said police is your friend. Anyway, I thank God that there are some these guardian angels that came. I don't know where they came from. They are called on non-conmen. I don't know where they came from. Maybe they are the spirit of all those killed by the police and the army. And they are venting the devil before the police and the army. They are called on non-conmen. I don't know who they are. I don't know where they come from. But they are fighting for the poor. They are like Robin Hood, but in this case, they are not robbing the poor in which to pay the poor, no. They are robbing the criminals, the murderers of their own lives. Murderers in the police and the army. People don't know what is coming. They have no idea. I feel sorry for this. They have no idea. Any day that all of you can come to support the one Nigeria country, the more you give in your collective groups. Nigeria can never ever be fixed. It's broken, not bad. It can never be fixed. Look at Southern Africa, we're talking rubbish. this spiritual leader or whatever rubbish is on this saw down himself that he wasn't there. That war is not, but you foreigners are the ones living war in the world. He took over development. He came down into the your people were also one massacring people. They never talked about war. As soon as we rose up and said enough is enough, now this war language starts to come to your lips. You think they're foolish? You think that go and bring all the pieces of this world, every propagandist for no colonialists, bring them together against Biafra agitation. You're wasting your time. Put them against ESN, wasting your time. Arrest all you like. But I'm just warning them. If you're the policeman involved in the arrest of innocent people, all I need to do is to go down on my knees and pray and ask God, please, may unknown gunmen get you and they will find you. Because God answers my prayers. So all those police stations involved in all this rage, know that your turn is coming. It's only a matter of time to come. Since you want anarchy, get anarchy. Since that's what you want. You people, you don't like people that play it gently like you. No, not this. That is how you have to take over our land. You know, men are adopting us and killing us. You come out at a body, kill us. For no reason. Shia people came out and shot them for no reason. And all of you saw, and soldiers with live bullets killing people in broad daylight. No major news outlet telling you before. The arrival of them. I'm saying it on camera. And I wish that the US Congress can call me to testify. The American ambassador, that woman took bribe from Nigeria. Nigeria bribes every ambassador that comes to Nigeria. They give you loads of money. So you will never report this happening. You don't know that. I'm saying it live. I wish they can call me in America and testify. I would assume. The British High Commissioner is as corrupt as the devil. That woman. She was the one that was responsible for the murder and the lady. When she went to see Tinubu, I want everybody, look at this woman, the army open fire. Not opposite someone to open fire, that woman. Get on the line. All of you are just most of them line. And the Japan say things like tomorrow. Man wants us hammers. That's why you keep using us. That is why everything I say comes to pass. It must happen, it must come to pass. I told them that when we were giving tax and praises to me, I told them that this horn, this trumpets that we are blowing, anybody who gets in Nassau will get. How many days? And there was fire in Nassau for the very first time. This will be destroyed. Not that we may just get the effort, so that when this story is written, our children will know that God did it not man. Man put their faith in their chariots. Pretend you have a member of the UN Security Council, you're very strong, you're powerful. All these criminal US ambassadors coming to Nigeria. Yeah, you have money, you are US. You always support Fulani. People are supporting terrorists because of money, because they're bribing, because Halliburton has all the concessions, because there is a share and everything. Everybody's making Biafra because of that. It is better to support terrorists to kill the innocent. And your diplomats. Your diplomats presiding over the slaughter of the innocent. You cannot speak the truth. We are in the middle of a war. The Fulanis have lived war on every indigenous population in the group in Nigeria. You all know you can say. All you can say is that Serikin or Serikin Fulani Lagos. Not the Oba of Lagos, no. Serikin Fulani Lagos means the supreme Fulani ruler in Lagos. Because the US ambassador has taken money. Very soon, her daughter will come to Nigeria. She will become a multi-millionaire. That's why they don't want to come to Nigeria. Because Fulani will pay very well. suppress the news, to stop the truth from going out. And all of you will suffer the long of it. You will suffer. Mark my words, somewhere you will suffer. You don't know it. From your different ways. You take money from others and from killers to suppress the truth. Biden doesn't know what is happening in Nigeria because they rely on the ambassador to give them accurate information. And that is not happening because they've been bribed. And that is why people are dying. Nigeria is in place in turmoil, not making it onto the front page of the news all over the world. Nobody knows about it because they are all compromised. They've been bribed. We don't need your one Nigeria to survive. They tried, can you imagine the nonsense? They brought in their food blockade. They said it mustn't be the south. They are perishable goods. So the items got spoiled in the north. The government now turned around to make them almost affordable. They are the ones that said they must sell their goods to the south. The goods are now rotten. And the government paid the compensation of nearly 5 billion. And they won Nigeria. To borrow more money, you idiotically wake up in the morning and say, I'm in Nigeria. As I said before, before I used to blame white people for racism, I no longer blame them for it. Because we are the cause of racism. Our stupidity as black people is responsible for the way we're being treated. Very sad. Very, very sad. We don't need them to survive. And we can give them the oil and gas for free. As I've said before, they allow me to repeat. The oil, apart from granting citizenship to every northern Christian, I mean the Sharia, Arewa, Janjaweed law, you will all live in Lebanon, where you can practice your religion without fear of faith. Another thing we're going to do is to pipe free oil gas across the West Africa. Those who will receive oil and gas for free. Cypriot Republic, oil and gas for free. Togo will receive oil and gas for free. Ghana the same. All the way to heaven knows, I think, Western Sahara. Do you know why? Because we want the economies of all these countries to grow as well, because they're going to buy our goods and services. They will buy our goods and services. That is why we need the economies to grow as well. The Biafra offer free oil and gas to the entire West African country. To tell you, we don't need oil and gas to survive as a people. We're not fighting for the economies of oil and gas. We are fighting because it's full of gold and we want to be free. We are free. We are free before the white man came. And we shall be free once again. And as I've been telling people, and they do not, or some do not understand or hope to understand, what we are doing is of the spirit. The likes of Sheikh come on stand up to speak. That's what I'm doing must do this.
That was a message from our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And we are going to end this program with that message. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is our Supreme Leader, and we don't have to forget his messages. Each time when he speaks, he gives us a new strength. He brings a new energy to us. That is why I don't miss playing his messages when I'm preaching. I always love to play him. Just likewise, our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa. I like to bring their messages up because it reminds us of where we are coming from. Because of some of us who have forgotten, and some of us who pretend to be sleeping, or some who are sleeping. Just maybe after hearing their message, you might wake up from your sleep. So that is why, as we are rounding up, I'm going to round up with this message of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko. It is a message that will remind us where we are what we are supposed to do, and what is happening. Many of their messages, when you hear them, it will seem as if they did it yesterday. When you hear the message, it will seem as if it is yesterday. But these are messages that have been there all this while. But because we were not paying attention, so many of us could not get the message. But today, here are we. And because we are now paying attention, it is much more easier for us to understand these messages. That is why we play these messages so that you can remember. Maybe you have forgotten where we are coming from. Maybe you have forgotten what we are supposed to do. Just maybe you have decided to put your tent on the wrong path. When you hear them, you know where they are coming from, you know how far they have gone, and you understand that today we have no choice than to continue to ask for the restoration of the independent state of Biafra the best way we can. Every one of us have a responsibility to speak up from our own end. Speak up from your own corner. Don't wait for anybody. This assignment is for all of us. The assignment is for you and I. It is not just for me alone. The assignment is for all of us. Every one of us have to be part of this assignment. That is why wherever you are, you must hold your hands, hold your heart tight, and stand on the truth. Because only the truth can set us free. As long as we remain on the truth, we are going to be victorious. But if we refuse to accept the truth and we buy into the lie of the enemies, it is going to be very, very difficult for us to overcome. That is why we must always embrace the truth, for only the truth shall set us free.
I want every one of you to remember these three words. Nigerians, we are no more. Southeasterners and Southerners, we cannot become. And Biafrans, we must.
That message is raw, clear, and direct. It is not confusing. Anybody that feels that message is confusing him is lying to himself or herself. We are no more Biafrans. We are no more Nigerian. We are not Southwest or Southeast. We are Biafrans.
Good afternoon, fellow Biafrans. This is the 11th day of November 3rd. Again to respond to a question by somebody who just asked me, Prime Minister, what do we do to sustain peace and security we brought to Biafra land? And I told him, and I said, I am going to make this video to respond because I know many people are going to ask this question. So here is my response. The only way to sustain peace that we have brought to Biafra territory and to Biafra people is to make sure that Nigeria never leave our territory. Nigerian terrorist army, Nigerian terrorist state police, and every arm carrying person under Nigeria within Biafra territory must not be allowed to breach because they are the main cause of this war. They are terrorists and terrorizing people, facilitating the attack against indigenous people and shielding these ragtag terrorists when they come to kill. So we are not going to allow them to breach Biafra territory until Biafra become an independent state recognized by the international community and the nation. I want you to take a look at where Nigeria is breaking, how the situation are. Take a look at Yoruba land. Nigeria is breaking Yoruba land. 29,000 people have been reportedly killed by terrorists. Look at the northeast, northwest, where Nigeria is breaking there are many terrorist groups springing up on the beaches, innocent women and children, and the life. Take a look in the Middle Belt, where Nigeria is breathing. There are people who have killed pets and children inside Nigeria, and many of the children are 19 years old. What does that tell you? Is that people have actually left and fled their ancestral land that we lived in has become for more than 80 years. And without any plan for them to reclaim their land is now being occupied by strangers. Who are those strangers? Fighters that were actually killing and chasing them out of their own land. Nigeria. That's the reason why we decided that the solution to sustain the security in our land is to make sure that Nigeria and that's what's happening. Thank you very much.
You have heard our Prime Minister. The message is clear. What we are supposed to do to make sure that Nigeria does not take breath in our section. If we want to maintain that peace that we have and keep it, a simple instruction. But today, the people that call themselves Liberation Army have this instruction with them. Instruction given to them by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu: do not allow Nigeria to breathe in our territory. Every arm-carrying person that is not a Biafran, that is not representing Biafra, must not breathe in our section. But today, they allow them to breathe, and you see the result. And even now, we heard that they are planning another Python dance in Biafra land. May Chukwu Gabiama protect his people. That is because we allow them to breathe. Because you allow them to breathe in Biafran territory today, they are planning another Python dance. They are planning Python dance in Biafran land, our own land. And some of you are still playing around. You are still there gallivanting. You are still there castigating, pushing propaganda and blackmail, lying against your brothers and sisters. The earlier you wake up, the better for you. I thank you all for being part of this program today. We are going to see again tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, join us on tomorrow to give you the exclusive update of the aftermath of the case of our Prime Minister Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There are a lot of things that are happening that we cannot say now. Tomorrow morning, join us so that we can continue to make this exposition. Join us on tomorrow morning program wherever you are. If you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, like, and share to other platforms. Thank you so much for being part of the program. I will see you tomorrow by the special grace of Chukwu Kabiam. See you tomorrow by the grace of Chukwu Kabiam. Keep fit. Do not be deceived. Don't be distracted. We are getting there. And we shall definitely get there. Thank you.
But again, every time Nigeria is rebel, if I look on news, it is rebel. If I look at social media, it is problem. Yeah? When I should be drinking coffee, they will make me to come online. They don't want to have me to rest. But you know what? You know what? The spirit in me, the Biafra spirit in me, I said, when I told you, if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is looking for 100 people, I promise that I have 50. You have not seen anything. It is not by my power. It is not by my power. It's not by my power. But, ask me, you know, I am a royal child, you understand? You'll be able to come. But today you are going to receive success. Big crypto, Nigerian crypto. As the crippling your economy, then close border. ESN came out automatically, weaponized. We shocked them. They said, this border no work. This close of border no work. Now, how do we stop the funding now of this Sunday or how do we stop the contribution? Let us stop the crypto. Because they were following Nigerians, southern Nigerians. Use crypto. They are not considering the economic impact of crypto. No. They are not considering how much the crypto is bringing to Nigeria economy. Their agenda is not to make Nigeria progress. No. They have a better agenda. Now you get the point. Now you get the point. My only problem is that why is it that you must wait? Thomas. Was Thomas born in Nigeria? Is Thomas in Nigeria? Is Thomas in the Bible in Nigeria? Are you a lineage of Thomas? Yeah? Are you a lineage of Thomas? You have Thomas blood in your bed. How did you get Thomas blood in your bed? That it must happen to you first before you understand. Yeah? Well, we are telling you, we don't know no here for Ghana. We are telling you, people that we are not perfect. But everything we have said, everything we open this mouth to say, if it don't happen today, it will happen tomorrow. I want you to go from the beginning of this problem. From the beginning. In fact, even the one that we are not sure of, once God asks us to say it, we will say it and God will do it. Hey. Woo. I said, did you see the prayer? May God harden the heart of the leaders in Nigeria so that we will tell them, oh, they know that he is no longer the boy. I remember when we used to read the history of Greeks, the Greek gods. I don't know, of course we don't read those things in Africa.
This is na wicked word. This is na confusion word. Listen to Palibran. I will be telling you a story about one lady girl. Polly they go to work. Polly they work for bank. Then I enter for motor. Driver they go. Opposite Udi. By the right hand side. Along the school road. I see people run. I see people run. Then I ask the driver waiting they happen. Driver waiting they happen. Driver tell the Pali boy. See no day for thought. See no day for thought. If better you take your eye and see. Then I call the